Hey everybody, it's Jenny McGarvey, and I am back with you today to share how I planned in my Gold Dot Happy Planner. This is my memory planner, so you can see right there my pre-planning and the photos that I have predetermined. Look at those rings. Isn't that insane? They're 3-inch Levengers. I don't recommend them. They're hard to turn and they're not great, and it's really not ideal. But I wanted everything in one album versus splitting it into two, and so I went with them, but they're totally not my favorite. Anyway, so if you're not into memory planning and you're like, oh my gosh, this is so not for me, I plan first. I add all my events and my activities, and then I go back at the end and add my photos and my decorations. So you can totally still watch my planning process, and I'll be explaining that to you as well. Now you can see right there, I pulled out one of those. It's kind of like a checklist sticker. It has room for 3 lines and 3 check marks, but I sometimes like to change it up and use those for activities. I mean, why not? There's no rules. I can use that if I want. And it's also often a really good size for different activities. So if I have like the person's name, the activity, and the time, or maybe I have to add the place or something like that, it really usually works really well together. And so I like to do that a lot. I also, this is one of the other things that I really like to do lately is that combining the two little stamps or stickers together to make something a little bit more special, even though both of the stickers are fairly ordinary. So you have right there like a little speech bubble or whatever you want to call it paired with a star. And so together they look really interesting and they add a little bit of variety, but alone that they'd be a little bit plain. Now, I also like to add a little bit of stamping, and so right there, I just stamped that tooth icon from Sweet Stamp Shop right on top of that little arrow sticker, and I love how stinking cute it is. It's just absolutely adorable. I did clean the stamp off with a baby wipe. I wipe it very gently to make sure that I don't tear it, and I don't think that you have to do that every time, but I tend to be a very messy stamper, and so I end up with ink all over the place if I don't clean them up. So I do take care of wiping them off, but only so I'm not making a huge mess. Now, I like to use VersaFine ink whenever possible. The colors are a little bit more limited than some of the other brands, but it stamps so well and it's so clean and easy to use that I really find myself thinking that it's pretty much my favorite ink ever. But like I said, it doesn't come in the widest variety of colors, so I do have to supplement with others every now and again. Now you can see that I'm going to continue to plan, and often I need to look through my stickers to find the one that I have in my brain. So right there, I wanted to use that circle and then also pair it with a little push pin sticker. I just thought it would be really cute, and I'm totally pleased with how it turned out. And I love it when that happens too, when I have an idea and I'm going to pair something together and it really turns out exactly how I wanted it to. I just absolutely love that. Now, I am using all stickers from the Scraptastic Club. They are all pretty much from the Madison collection. And you saw at the very beginning that if you would like to shop with Scraptastic Club either on their website or on Etsy, you can get a 30% off discount by using the code AJ McGarvey, all one word. And that's a really good way to get a deal and save a little bit of money. And also, if you haven't tried the stickers or the stamps, giving a good try to a really fun brand, high quality. Anyway, so we're finished with Tuesday, and you can see that I used 3 totally different ways to plan my events. I used the little flag, which I always like, the little notebook paper sticker, which is super cute, and then that circle with the push pin at the bottom. And I love to change it up. Changing up the activities and the stickers is definitely by far my favorite. I feel like it makes the page feel a little bit more eclectic and a little bit more fun, and that is definitely my style, is eclectic and fun. So I find that this is a really great way to use a wide variety of supplies and a wide variety of themes. So I really get to try a lot of different things by having an eclectic style. Though I will say it's also still fairly functional and very simple. There's nothing too crazy here and there's nothing too overly done. Like I don't add a ton of decorating or anything like that. My memory planner does include a little bit more, but it's also sort of a scrapbook of sorts. So I don't feel like that's kind of the same thing, you know? Now here on the Wednesday afternoon, you can see that I'm pairing together two stickers again like I have before. That little word sticker and then also right on top of it the little telephone. It's just so stinking cute and I'm just in love with it. It's an awesome way to put two stickers together. Hopefully I'll remember to do it again in the future because looking at that, I'm really excited about it. Now I refer back to my regular planner, the one that I use every day, the one that keeps my to-do lists and all of those things when I'm doing my memory planning. It's important to me to add all of the little events that we do throughout the week. So, lunch with a friend, or a dentist appointment, or practice, because the whole point of this particular project for me is to document all of those little things because I know this part of our life is going to move so fast. And 15 years from now, I'm not going to remember all of the craziness. And I really want to. I really want to hold on to that. And so, for me, planning first and putting all of these little bits and pieces down is very, very important. Now, these are one of my very favorite stickers, these little banner stickers. I think that they are just the cutest things ever. And then on top of that, they really definitely serve a purpose because you can still write different activities or events directly on top of the banner. Now I'm finished with the first half of the week, which is very, very exciting, and I'm going to move on to the second half of the week, which is, of course, we all know the best part of the week since it includes the weekends. Now I'm sticking obviously with the same color scheme because once we're back on the discs, everything will flow together very nicely. And so I'm sticking still with the yellow and the pink with a little bit of green too, and I am just thrilled with it. I know it's not necessarily a very summery color scheme, but I really, really like it a lot. It's super pretty and it was just really a lot of fun to do. So I can absolutely see myself using this one again in the future. Now I love to pair together a few of these different little hexagons when I'm using them. I just think they make the most adorable little cluster. And so I can get away with using it in a functional way. So like right there, I wrote the activity, but then I also have that one decorative sticker with the donuts and it's just so stinking cute. So I really do enjoy combining function and decoration, even in my memory planner where I do allow myself a little bit more room to decorate. Speaking of leaving room to decorate, when I am doing my planning in my memory planner, I do like to leave little chunks of space where I can add different, not only photos, but also die cuts or decorative stickers or whatever, and making sure that there's plenty of room there for that. Now, as you can see on Saturday, I took a circle sticker, I put it down, and then I trimmed with an X-Acto knife the top of it off so that it lays flat against that bar. And then now I'm just stamping a camera stamp right on top of it that's from Sweet Stamp Shop, just so that I can add that little bit of decorative flair but still have that sticker there too to add that different bit of color which pops right off that background. Now again, another one of those really fun banners. I just really love the shape. They're so cute and so whimsical, yet at the same time, obviously I just wrote an activity. That's so fun. But it really lends itself to being something a little bit different too. So it's not just your average event sticker or anything like that. Now there's the baby wipe again. If you do decide to use baby wipes to clean off your stamps, there's two things that I'd really think that you should remember. One is to use an alcohol-free stamp or alcohol-free wipe, I'm sorry, and then also wipe them very gently. You wouldn't want to tear them or anything like that. Now, the ones that are made in the USA that are really high quality, like the Sweet Stamp Shop ones, they're a little bit hardier. They can definitely take a little bit more, but you wouldn't want to lose any part of the awesome little details, so you definitely want to be very, very careful with those. And then especially the ones that are made in China or something like that that are a lower quality stamp, you definitely need to be very careful with because those can tear so incredibly easily. So now I'm finished with the planning portion. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to add one photo directly to the page before I start to work on my page protector. And so this one little photo, I'm going to trim it up to being 1.5 inches wide, which is the width of the box. And then I'm going to use my tape runner and just adhere that right there. I didn't have a lot of photos for this week, so I didn't need to add more smaller photos to directly to the planner page, which I sometimes do. So now there's a look at the entire page. There's plenty of room there for decor, journaling, and a little bit of just fun, right? So now there is my page protector. It's two 4x6 slots. Now I am not going to use it that way though. I'm going to use it for 3x4s. And so all I'm going to do is choose my 3x4 cards because I already have my photos printed. And then I will assemble it all together. And then when I'm finished off camera, I will use my sewing machine to stitch up those pockets to make it work. And you could absolutely use a fuse tool, or there's a bunch of different ways. You could hand stitch it with a needle and thread. There's definitely different ways that you can make that work. That's one of the things that I love about some of these page protectors, is that they're very, very easy to use. So this, I didn't have another one with the 4 3x4 slots, but that's really what I wanted to do for this particular week based on the photos that I had. So you know what, I'm just going to make one. It's really not that big of a deal. It's super simple to do with a sewing machine, and I prefer to use the sewing machine over the fuse tool, even though I do have a fuse tool. And so I will just trim up my 3x4 photos. I print all of my photos on my Canon Selphy printer, and then I just trim them with my paper trimmer down to the size that I need them to be, and I can either put them directly on my pages or slide them in my page protectors. Now I'm going to pull out some of the embellishments that I have, which include some different die cuts and then a stamp set also. I'm not going to add a whole lot to this. I like to leave it simple. I like to keep it really neat and concise, but because I do have these really great options available, I want to use them, and I want to use them to write a couple of words about the different photos and stuff. So I'm going to go through all of the different little die cuts and see which ones will work for what I have and the photos that I have. So like this one, for example, I'm just going to write a couple of words on it, and then I'm going to adhere it directly to my photo. Now sometimes I'll use my tape runner, which is a great way to just attach things. It's very sticky. And then also this time I'm going to use my tiny attacher, which is just a stapler that's handheld, and it's got smaller little staples, and it's so cute. It's really very adorable, and it's kind of a fun way to give a little bit of something extra to that particular photo. Now I'm going to stamp directly on this card. You can see that it already has a pattern, but it's pretty basic, and so I can still add a little bit more. I'm going to use my VersaFine ink and this stamp and stamp that right there. And then I'll wipe it off, like I said already, because I will otherwise get ink all over my layout. And then I'm just going to finish with the little teeny tiny details that go with that bigger stamp, and finish stamping that right up, and then I will put it back into the page protector when I'm all finished. What's fun about simple details like this is that they didn't take a lot of extra supplies. You more than likely have things on hand that will work for this, and they still look really, really cute. I do love to layer stickers. I do love to add die cuts and all kinds of things, but I also really love it when I can just keep things super simple too. Now that top photo is beautiful of my oldest son, and one of the fun things about it is that he had taken this with Snapchat and then texted it to me, and I love incorporating my kids' social media and things like that into my layouts. It's really a good glimpse of who they are and what they're doing right now, so it's just a totally fun way to add a little bit of something extra to my pages. Now I'm going to adhere this one right there to that, right directly to the photo, and do the same thing that I did on the back, which is just a little bit of adhesive so it doesn't slide around, and then to use that tiny attacher as well. Now here on this particular photo, I'm going to use a permanent pen. So in this case, I'm using a Pilot permanent pen, but you could absolutely use a Sharpie. And I'm just going to write a little bit directly on the photo. I'm not putting a little die cut on there. I'm not putting a card, nothing. Just journaling directly on the photo. Now, if you decide to do something like that, you definitely need a permanent pen. So make sure that you're using a Sharpie marker or something like that so that it doesn't smear. Now you can see right there, there is the layout again that we completed already. And now is going to be the fun part. I'm going to add a little bit of journaling, and I'm going to add a little bit of decoration. So I'm pulling out a bunch of die cuts from my stash, And I'm going to go back and see which ones not only match with my colors, but also kind of overall go with it and have a really good feeling and work together. I want to keep the visual triangle, so that what that means is using 3 little clusters of embellishments, and they would connect together and make a triangle if you drew a line together. So I'm just going to look for different little elements that I can incorporate to this page that, like I said, match both color and theme wise, and then keep it fairly simple. So down there in the corner I added that little super cute quote with the bird and the flower, and then over here I'll do another flower, and then this little, it's kind of like a little tag. It is a struggle to go through all of the items that you have, though, and find things that work, because absolutely there are always more than one thing that can work, or maybe you have like 5 or 6 packages of embellishments or whatever to go through. But that's part of the fun too, is looking at all the really pretty and fun supplies. Okay, so now I have all of those things set out right there and kind of placed where I know that I'm going to want them. So now what I can do is get down to work of adhering them. And so I'll just use my little small tape runner to do so. I often use my big ATG gun that you can get at Michael's or Hobby Lobby, someplace like that. But I also like to use this small one because it's easy to get onto these small little pieces. So I go back and forth and definitely interchange them. I just like to make sure that my adhesive is very sticky. I've been scrapbooking a long time, and definitely when I open up old albums, the pieces fall down to the bottom, and that's no fun at all. So now the last thing to do is just to add a little bit of journaling, and so I'm going to use my ruler and my Papermate Flair pen and add a couple of lines where I can just jot down a few memories right there, and then I will also do it on the other side as well, just to have a couple of things to remember, and it's just a really great way to even out the whole spread with the cute decorations and the photos and then the stories as well. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching my video. I really do appreciate it. If you liked it, please leave me a thumbs up. It lets me know what you like to see, and it also lets YouTube, or it lets me know that you liked the video, and it also lets YouTube know the types of things that you like to see. Also, if you have any questions, please leave it down in the comment box, and I will do my best to get back to you. Thank you so much, and make it a great day.